two other guys that are not here tonight. A lot of you know Scott McGuire, and we have Steve Urkala. I'd also like to introduce a couple guys that are very helpful to me with this ski jump project we're trying to do. First, our architect, former U.S. ski team member, Dave Solner. And the guy that's, without him, this project probably would not go forward, and that's our attorney, but he's more than an attorney, and that's Paul Zeig. He's from Redmond. Before we get to the induction ceremony, I want to give out our golf prizes. Get that out of the way. We had 6 closest to the pins on the par 3s, and on number 4, that was won by Chris Venaglia. He is not here tonight, and I've already given him his prize. On number 6, with a driver, 160 yards, Dan Ellison. Come on up, man. Where is he? What did we call him today, Dave? With a driver. Okay, hole number 8. Roger Dion. Where's Roger? Come on up and get your prize.
Is that a driver?
What club did you use? Do you remember what club you used?
Yeah, 500.
5 hybrid, all right. Number 11. This was very close to that pin. Our attorney, Paul Zeig. I know they're not the color you're using today, but... Okay, number 14, Dan Watt. Oh, there he is.
Thank you.
And then we had number 17 was Rick Venaglia. I've already given him his prize. Then we had a longest putt. That was won by Timo Dennison. He's not here tonight, I've already given that to him. And then we had a longest drive, and it was a bomb. Bill Polanka. On hole number 2.
Wedge.
Nice job. And then our last one is the team award for the scramble at 8 under. Ron Jacobson, Greg Swore, Bill Blanca, and Mark, I'm going to butcher up your name. How do you say it? Delorier. Close enough. Come on up.
We're going to carry him down here.
The backswing takes 10 minutes.
Just sit here, shake hands, and move on. Let's talk, don't walk. Come on.
Make sure get over here, Greg.
You see? You stop him when he talks.
I've been teasing Jake that he cheated all day. Winnie, am I right? Jake likes to pick up when he's 10 feet away.
Oh, that's good enough.
Okay, before we get to Lyle, one more thing. I'd like to bring up Billy DeMong. There he is, our USA Nordic Executive Director. He's going to say a few things and then we'll go on to the induction ceremony.
Just a few things, that's all I get? Okay. All right, so can everybody hear me pretty well?
Yeah.
All right. So it's my honor to be back here. This is, I think, the second time I've been at the Hall of Fame induction in the last few years. It's great to be back in a really tight-knit community that I'm so proud to be part of. I'm going to ask that all the USA Nordic athletes and coaches just come down real quick. This is kind of our first time that we've had big representation from the national teams. So obviously you can see we've got a nice big team and we're not even all here. It's great to be able to come out here and be able to be part of this event. And I really want to thank all of you for building up this Ski Jumping Hall of Fame. And I want to thank Scott for his leadership. Scott's wearing a lot of hats right now. And without him, you know, a lot of these athletes wouldn't have gone to the Olympics this year. A lot of these, you know, the club that he runs down in Chicago wouldn't be where it is today. This project wouldn't be where it is today. So big thank you to Scott Smith if you could come up. So we just have a couple things for you.
Thanks.
So we've got some USA Nordic gear for Scott. And while Scott's up here, I just want to identify one of our new partners that we're really, really proud. Michael Pita. Can you just at least stand up? Michael is from the Mayo Clinic, Sports Medicine. And as you know, USA Nordic and Friends of American Ski Jumping were proud to announce a partnership with the Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine this spring. It's just phenomenal to be able to now have an excuse to come out here and all the hard work that Friends of American Ski Jumping is doing with Scott to try to build our vision of having a hill here in Red Wing. You know, we hope that not only are we coming out here to take advantage of the world-class facilities and world-class professionals at Mayo Clinic, but we're also able to come and train and compete. So hats off to you, Scott, for all the hard work. And on that note, I do want to just thank everybody because what really drives this sport and makes it really special is the people. And we've got a tight-knit group. We all know each other. A lot of us, Daryl Landstrom actually joined us tonight. He hasn't seen a lot of his friends in 50 years, I think he told me, since he jumped to Chester back in the day. But he immediately, you know, recognized everybody. And we've got some other great leaders in the room, like Jay Martin from Minneapolis. We've got Alan Alborn, who's up here with me, that runs Park City. Scott from Norgie, Dan Mattoon from Eau Claire, Brian Wallace, who's now working in St. Paul. Did I leave anybody out that's here? Club leaders? I mean, you guys are the ones that, you know, build the future for our sport. So Lisa and Dan. And, you know, I think our future is bright. A lot of things have changed over the last decade. We've talked about this before, but I just want to make sure we all give a round of applause to everybody in the room. You know, ski jumping and Nordic combined are near and dear to us. It's what drives us, it's what connects us. It's why we're here tonight. And, you know, we've been able to make some big changes in the leadership in the national level with USA Nordic. And what we're really trying to do is just connect everybody and get everybody rowing in the same direction. And I think that this group, Friends of American Ski Jumping, has done an excellent job of helping us do that, other people in the room as well. And I'm proud now to say that we were able to support all these athletes at a high level, and that they're doing their job every day, and they're really proud to be able to do that. And I think the sport as a whole has turned around with coaches like Brian Wallace coming back after just finishing his career and being, congratulations, Coach of the Year, Club Coach of the Year. We're building a bright future. The number of kids in this country that are jumping has actually doubled over the last 5 years, and that's a huge success. And I think that with the focus of organizations like Friends of American Ski Jumping and the clubs and USA Nordic and all getting in the same boat and rowing in the same direction, we're going to take the sport to heights that, you know, may have never been in the past. And that's my vision and our goals. And thank you to everybody, and thank you so much to Scott and Friends of American Ski Jumping for bringing us here tonight. So, while the athletes are up here, we do have one really special live auction item. I'm not an auctioneer, so bear with me, unless somebody else wants to volunteer. So this ski is signed by all of the national team athletes. And this is 2000, let's call it an 18 Fluga. We've donated this ski to help support Scott and Friends of American Ski Jumping's efforts. So I would like to start out by saying this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own this year's team's ski with their names on it. Would anybody like to bid $100 for this ski?
Here.
There you go. Mark Lavasser, start it off. Would anybody, I got 100, I got 100. Does anybody want 150? 150 from Lisa. All right, 150, 150. How about 200? Come on. 200. All right, thanks, Kathy. All right, let's bump it up. How about $300? Who will give me $300 for this once? All right, Lisa, thank you. All right, $400. Who will give me $400 for this amazing, and if you compare it to the Northland ski, quite a technological improvement. All right, there we go. Thanks, Dash.
Come on, Kurt, you can't let.
All right, let's go to 5. Who's got $500? This thing can, decorate your office, your bedroom. $500. Do I hear 5? I got 4. Who will give me 5? $500. Lisa, I love it. This one looks so good at Buck Hill, though. And then you get to tell everybody you went to World Juniors 3 times. How do you have a jump ski? Be like, I used to do it.
With you already.
Okay. Okay. All right, $600. Who's got 6? Who wants $600? $600. All right, I got 500. 500 going. All right, $600 from Dash. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll go to $750. Who'll give me $750 to support Friends of American Ski Jumping? Okay. No, I got $600 from you in cash, right? 3% credit card fee. $750. Who's got $750? All right, 600 going once. 600 going twice. 650. 650. All right, I got 650 now. I got 650. All right, who will give me 7? Who will give me $700 for this ski? Come on, who will give me $700 to support Friends of American Ski Jumping? $650 going once. $650 going twice. Sold to Prestige Automotive. All right, I'm going to hand it off to Lyle, right? All right, there he is.
All right, thank you, Billy. Okay, folks, let's keep. Thank you, Billy. Billy talked about people in this sport, and we have the young Olympic competitors here. We have some fossils that are in the Hall of Fame, and we have some that are not in the Hall of Fame here tonight. But we all come and we have fun. We share memories. We tell stories. We live in a world of reverie. I want to tell you what you're looking forward to after you retire from ski jumping. You're going to dream about it. Like you dream about, you didn't finish high school, you had to go back for advanced credit in high school or something. Well, ski jumping's the same. I have these dreams myself. So often my buddy Paul Johnson's helping me with that. Occasionally, Don Lokala from Ishpeming is in them. We're on a big hill somewhere. But there's something, just terribly wrong with the hill. Snow's melting, running off of it. Paul says, let's go up anyway. So we do. Paul comes off, he has a good jump. First of all, the announcer says, Lyle Boucher is by far the oldest person to to ever come off and competitively off the big hill. Not only that, the only person with a prosthetic hip to jump on the big hill. It's a pretty good jump. I'm feeling good in the air, like Gene Kalarick, holding nice form like that. And then my wife pokes me. What's the matter with you? You having a seizure or something? And I hold the form. Be quiet. I got a long one going. Every jumper I run into has these similar dreams. You're coming into the landing, but you're about 2 feet off the ground. You go through the R2, past the outrun, out into the parking lot, still defying gravity, 2 feet off the ground. Maybe I should put it down. That's what's going to happen. You just don't quit having fun. So anyway, we have here tonight Kevin Begner. I've watched you since you were a little guy. And I've got to remark that I've never seen somebody progress like Kevin has to the big time, on the big hills. 244 and a half feet at Vickerson. Meters. Did I say feet? And that's not bad, you know. I looked up the FIS standings and printed them off, and there's over 200 comps between 2011, 2018, all over the world. What a rich experience. Besides the ski jumping, I don't want to get into what your coaches are telling you, but taste the culture, the people you meet, and enjoy it, learn from it. But what a wonderful experience, Kevin. Congratulations on being on the Olympic team. Mike Glasser. Same, likewise, seen Mike since he was a little guy, 7, 8 years old, coming off the big hill at Norgie. Incredible what these guys do. Mike, you've been at this longer than 2,000, longer than the rest. and the list of competitions that Mike has been involved in, all the way from Olympics, World Cup ski flying, Sapporo, Oberstdorf, Continental Cups. One of the most exciting times was taking first place at Pine Mountain a couple years ago. And no votes was 6 that day. That was a good day for us. Casey, the young lad on the team. Wow, another one coming up so quickly. If not for an injury, I think we might have had Kara, a brother and sister team on the Olympics. Next time around we will have Kara take it a little slow and bring that along, and she'll be, she's got 3 years to get fixed for that. Brother and sister team. 2nd Large Hill Nationals, 7th World Flying, World Cup ski flying in Vickerson. Great stuff. And you have many more years to go. Congratulations, Casey. Keep up the work. Abby. When she isn't ski jumping, this is from USA Nordic. I teeped this from them. She's either at the hill coaching younger Park City jumpers, or with her husband tending to their mini ranch consisting of dogs, chickens, and dwarf goats. Love the goats, that's great. Greatest of all time. Top 5 Continental Cup finish in Falun, World Cup team member, World Championships team member, 2011, 13, and 15. did extraordinarily well at the at Sochi and getting that ready for the Olympics. 9 top 20 finishes, 2012, 13, and 14. Great. And again, over 200 comps in about 14 years there. That's a lot of weekends. That's a lot of weekends. Congratulations, Abby. Okay. We'll give the youngest pup his first. We'll go right to the most senior member since you're nearest. We'll go over here to the young lady. Kevin, sorry, you're last to get yours. There we go. Congratulations. Would y'all like to say something on the microphone?
I'm a little more experienced, age-wise. Obviously, I'm the oldest guy here, but I should not be standing here without all of your support. Everyone. Coaches, athletes, family, everybody. I would not be standing here without your help, and I cannot thank you enough. I feel like I've made a million friends around the world, every state I go to, everywhere. I feel like I'm very comfortable talking to you, staying at your house, whatever, and that you cannot get that in another sport outside of ski jumping. I don't feel like. So I can't thank you guys enough for your support, whatever, financially, just sending me an email, anything, talking to me when I'm around the jumps. Cannot thank you guys enough, and I would not be here without all of you guys. Thank you.
Okay, moving on then.
No way. Wow, really?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for, being here and supporting the sport of ski jumping. It is such a special thing to all of us, and that we hold it close to our hearts. The amount of friends, like Mike said, that I can go anywhere in the world and have a place to stay. But I really wouldn't be here without the support from American friends of American ski jumping, or my family, or my teammates, my brother, my coaches. It trickles down to the very last person. So I'm honored to stand up here, and thanks for having us tonight.
I feel like this is a pretty weird thing. It's awesome, but I'm pretty early in my career, and I feel like getting into the Hall of Fame already is pretty cool. But I mean, I've come so far so quickly and had so much fun doing it, and I mean, the support throughout my entire upbringing in this sport has been so positive and so much fun. Whether it's Scott or just everybody at every single competition everywhere in the Midwest. So I've had tons of fun, and I'm just getting started, so I can't really wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, like Mike, Abby, and Casey all said, you have all been a part of this, helping us get to this point, and it's been great having along for the ride. And it's also awesome being up here in the birthplace of ski jumping in America at Red Wing, to go through this experience and being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm really excited to be here, and it's great to share this with all of you.
I'm kind of getting out of sequence here, but lest we forget it, we're not going to sing happy birthday to Sarah because that was a couple days ago. We're not going to sing to Nick McToon or Scott McGuire because they're not here today, even though it's their birthday. we are going to stop and take a moment to reflect and remember Mr. Redwing Jerry Borgen, who passed away about 3 weeks ago. He was so instrumental in operating the Ski Hall of Fame and the museum. His accomplishment and his work, I can't capture it, but people tell me, I read of all of the community organizations that he belonged to and was active in for so many years. We have a great loss. Now, let's have all of the people who are already inducted, including tonight's, stand up. The old-timers who were inducted in previous years, stand up. We want to see who you are. And there's more. One.
Stand up.
Now you know what we do when we all get together. 4. It's right underneath the takeoff. Every Sunday morning, there comes a bunch of y'all skiers to yump and show their form. Till they're blue, I'll get through, pulls the string. Lutefiska left side, Lutefiska left side. Fiska, Lutefiska left side. Brain of Vano Snooze. We have 5 people being inducted. Well, first of all, let me back up to the Olympians that were inducted here just a moment ago. They are active skiers, so their biographies that appear on the American Ski Jumping Hall of Fame website, so expertly administered by Ken Anderson, is a moving document. We're going to continue to need updates to that to keep those current and active. And just because there's something up there one time doesn't mean we can't go back and update it or correct it or improve it. First at-large nominee is Corey Arneson. Corey Arneson was nominated by Christian Arneson and also Dan Mattoon. Now, I personally knew Corey, and as many of you did, and just what a splendid individual. Always smiling, always happy, and such an involved person for so many years in coaching, judging, and it goes back before that. He had a scholarship to Northern Michigan University for the ski jumping team. I don't know how many people knew that. Corey, of course, always told the young lads and ladies that stick that telemark landing. That'll make you or break you, that telemark landing. Consequently, the Central Association has established an award for most graceful ski jumper, the Corey Arneson Award. And again, Christian, Corey's write-up is a moving, we are not done with that. There's a lot more to say, we want to say about Corey. Nevertheless, where's that ski? Present this to you, Christian Arneson, son of Corey. Please say a few words.
Well, this is a great honor. I appreciate the committee for getting my dad in and joining in the ranks of all the rest of the people on that list. So, and then especially for Tri-North Ski Club, this is a big thing too, with his dad in there, Ole Arneson. It's a great honor. But, you know, my dad was a great guy. He got me into ski jumping when I was little, and I quit, of course, because I got hurt, and you know, I didn't really enjoy being hurt at that young age. So, but then he got me into judging, and I've been doing that, and I've been laying off now. I own my own business, so I had to lay off a little bit of that, but hopefully going to get back into it in the next 5 years. But, you know, my dad, you know, growing up, ski jumping was his life. I mean, there was times when I can remember being in college and I called my dad, "Where are you?" "I'm in Salisbury." You know, "Oh, great, Dad," you know, so, but, you know, my dad taught the ski jumping song to my daughters when they were 2 years old, and they can sing it, and we were all singing it up there, so, hey, thank you very much, and thanks.
Just with the Arnesons, we're going to have quite a few Dion's in the Hall of Fame here before the night's over. Doug Dion. Born and raised in Lebanon, New Hampshire. Started skiing at age 2. In fact, he got to a state of his talent of ski jumping that he couldn't compete with the big guys on the big hills, so he did, I guess you didn't call it forerunners, demonstration jumping before the tournaments on the big hills. This is most interesting, fascinating. Doug was selected as a member of the United States Eastern Amateur Ski Association National Junior Team. He did not compete that year due to financial problems. The following year, as a high school senior, he was again selected and placed 3rd in Asjhf, Michigan. He earned scholarships to the University of Wyoming, and I won't go through his whole record there, but did some impressive jumping there for the team, including one that impressed me most. Yeah, placed 2nd to the incredible John Balfance. Now that's something. I know I didn't capture all of the points here, but a person who's been involved in jumping from a young age and competitively and successfully in college, and moving on to development and working with the Eastern Association and skiing out there, coaching in clubs and so forth. Please give us a few words, Doug.
First of all, please don't refer to me as a fossil. It's not something I like to be thought of as. The second thing is that ski that you just auctioned off, you made reference to that Northland. Well, let me tell you something. I skied with that Northland when it was new. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a great ski right there. But anyhow, a little bit of my life is encapsulated in the fact that I was born and raised in a family of skiers, of ski jumpers. And when I started walking with skis on. So when he said that I started skiing at 2, that was probably a year later than I actually did. By the time I was 10, and I'm talking actually in behalf of my cousin Bernard, who was inducted 2 years ago, and my brother who sits in the back, and we were all referred to as the Flying Dions in the Northeast. And so as soon as we could start jumping, we jumped. Reason being is because my father was also a great skier, and he always taught us, first of all, how to ski. And that didn't include just jumping, that was everything. The sport has been just absolutely phenomenal for me. I look at the young people here that are active in the sport today, and I echo your words, relish every moment of it, because it will go with you wherever you go for as long as you are. So trust me, I mean, I can remember, going back to, I'm out of sequence here, I know I am, but by the time I was 10, I was jumping every hill in the Northeast. That was up to and including Berlin, which was a 70 or an 80 meter hill, Brattleboro, Lake Placid, Salisbury, you name it, Rumford. We were there, and we were too young to compete, obviously, at 10, but we did forerun. We opened up almost every tournament for years. So, it was all I knew. And then as we matured a little bit, and we started competing in Class C, then Class B, then Junior A, and then Senior A. The one that really sticks to my mind is when I was at junior college and I was jumping at the Masters at Lake Placid. And the guy came up to me and put his arm around my back and he said, my name is John Sam, he called himself, Sam St. Andre. And I looked up, hell yeah, I know who Sam is, who didn't back in the early 60s. At any rate, he was going to the University of Wyoming at that time, and he said, I think I can get you a scholarship there. And I said, well, that would be wonderful. But below it all, I never heard of University of Wyoming. I know I'm an Easterner. And I didn't think that they even had a ski team, let alone a jumping team. But anyway, next year I was at the University of Wyoming, and who I find as my teammates were a guy by the name of John Elliott, which you probably know, the older folks. And of course, Sam was there for that year. And later on, Jay Martin joined us. And so that's where I did most of my skiing. When I graduated school, well, I had joined ROTC and the advanced program, graduated with a commission in the Air Force, and I did not plan on what happened next. And that was, the Air Force had other plans for me rather than ski. So after training, I went to Thailand, spent a year there, a couple of years in the Philippines, and then went back to Luke Air Force Base in Arizona. So needless to say, by the time I got back to snow country, my skiing was over, my competitive skiing was over. I look at my Air Force career with a great deal of accomplishment and pride, but a little bit of sadness, that I kind of left ski jumping at a relatively early age. So, but thank you so much for the honor of inviting me into your fellowship, and it was greatly appreciated. Thank you.
The next recipient of the induction to the Hall of Fame is Ernest DeYoung. Ernie, born 1916, passed away 1999. 1934, Ernie won the United States Eastern Interscholastic Ski Championships in both jumping and combined events. Ernie placed second in the Olympic tryouts in 1938 in Berlin, New Hampshire. However, the 1940 Olympics never took place because of World War II. He placed fifth in the National Ski Jumping Championships in Steamboat Springs that year. During Ernie's career as a jumper, he won 19 state jumping titles, including the Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, New York, Connecticut, New Hampshire championships. He also won the Canadian Regional Championships at Lac-Beauport, Quebec in 1949 and 50. He ended his jumping career in 1972 in Rumford, Maine after 40 years of competition, placing second in the veterans class. Ernie's influence on skiing throughout the Northeast was widespread. In addition to his recognition as a longtime competitor, he contributed immeasurably through his skill as a coach. In 1951, Ernie started a junior ski team, and within a few years, 8 of its original members represented the East in 4 disciplines of the Junior Nationals. In the mid-50s, he built Snowcrest Ski Area, renamed Whaleback. Later, he refurbished and built Storrs Hill ski area, which is currently still operative. He was inducted into the National Ski Hall of Fame in Asjhf as both an athlete and a sport builder in March of '84. So for a lifetime of achievements, we award Ernie Dion the induction into the American Ski Jumping Hall of Fame.
And again, thank you so much for, again, recognizing my father. He's quite an individual, obviously, and from the Northeast, back in that era, everybody knew him. He was a friend to everyone. He helped everyone. At one point, a while back, he built it as a family area, as a local area, but more importantly, in advancement of the sport of skiing, it's estimated that was it 20,000 kids, free of charge, learned how to ski at his area. That's how much commitment he had to the sport of skiing, more than just jumping, the entire sport. So again, thank you so much.
We have Steve Reed here. Our next inductee, nominated by Jay Martin, is Hans Hansen. Now, this is Jay, I really appreciate you making this nomination because we have to capture the essence and the value of these jumpers that have passed before and get them into the Hall of Fame, because if we don't, the legacy is going to be lost. Nevertheless, Hans Hansen was born in Norway in 1890. He began ski jumping as a young boy. He jumped in Minneapolis in a place known as Schutt's Pasture. I don't even know where that is, but yeah, that's how it was in the day. And he entered his first national tournament in 1910 as an amateur in 1912 at Cary, Illinois, the Norgie Club. And he defeated the professional winner by points, making him the overall winner. 1912 Nationals. As years progressed, his talents and performance increased, so he was no longer considered an amateur, and he entered the professional class. Now this is something that I really don't fully understand myself, but different classes had different names over time, and in the early years there was the professional class, people who took compensation for their skills at ski jumping, and they were excellent ski jumpers. One that comes to immediate mind is Walter Brotland, and he ran into the same problems of competing with amateurs. Hans, in 1921, had the long jump in competition in Revelstoke, Columbia, of 235 feet. He fell and broke his collarbone. The next year he came back and won that long-standing uncontested. Before the 1924 Olympic tryouts in Minneapolis, he was considered one of the top jumpers in the nation. As it turns out, he made the Olympic team bound for Chamonix, France. However, he was concerned about his professional status and chose not to go. There were a couple of other individuals that had professional status that did go and were not ruled out of the competition, as I understand it. So it's kind of ironic that he didn't go. He would have done very well. In the 1930s, now this is just crazy. He began somersaulting off the ski jumps, doing somersaults, and I have pictures here showing that. It's just incredible. Doing triple jumps, somersaults, and I think I heard this afternoon double somersaults with his son, of all things. We never did somersaults intentionally. So anyway, Hans Hansen represents an extremely good jumper, qualifying for the Olympics, and with a long career, of jumping and the novel aspect of doing the somersaults, never to be forgotten now that he's inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. This goes back to something that's been long forgotten. And this is for the very first Olympics, 1924. So we're trying to come up with some ideas as to, what we were faced with back then, or they were faced with. They talked about jumping 210 feet. To us, that's a short jump, most of us anyway. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that was the longest ride in the US as well as across the ocean. He's tried for a long time and spent most of his winter time skiing. And this is going to tournaments all over. So in the 24 Olympics, first of all, we had to gather who was going to be going. And because of the number of victories that he had, he was one of them that was selected. Unfortunately, never made it because of his professional status. In any case, I just want to kind of give you a brief rundown of what he has faced. What we're looking at is somebody that enjoyed this sport and passed away in 1977 with a lot of heartaches. One thing that I did want to mention is that I want to thank Jane Martin, who did a lot of the integration of what we're doing tonight. He, of course, is an Olympian, and just wanted to mention, his brother also is an Olympian. And I want to thank them for the work that they did to help me out. Thank you.
One more to go, and this one gives me great pleasure. Nominated by Dan Mattoon, Walter Malmquist, and Reed Zolke. Mark Lavassier. Mark came also from a ski jumping family. Gene Lavassier was on the tryout team for 54 and the FIS team, yes, of course. A very good jumper. Mark was perhaps more of a modest jumper, but still notched some very good performances in high school competition. He was on 2 junior national teams, had a 3rd place finish in team jumping at Jackson Hole, Wyoming in 1978. He was the overall winner of Storrs Hill competition 1995 in Lebanon, New Hampshire, Rumford Invitational 1988, Rumford, Maine, the Ike Trophy 1977, Bear Mountain, New York, and a whole slew of Masters competitions, 1989. That's got to be Joe Barron's back there clapping. It is. 1991, Rumford, Maine. 1995, Lebanon, New Hampshire. World Masters Championships in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, 4th place, which was the final competition of your career. Now, Mark moves into judging, international judging. I am most impressed seeing his name up there on the screen on the TV, judging in 2017 at the World Championships in Lahti, Finland. He's judged at Sapporo, Willingen, Germany, Innsbruck, Austria, Bischofshofen, Wiesla, Poland, Wintergarten, Germany, Continental Cups, Villach, Austria, Iron Mountain, Michigan, Notrodden, Norway, Park City, Utah, Calgary, Canada, FIS Cup competitions in Brattleboro, Vermont. Mark's activities in judging and the U.S. Ski Association are very important. He's very active in that regard. important as a sport builder. He co-founded the, I'm going to get this acronym right, NESJNC, New England Ski Jumping and Nordic Combined Ski Team. And has received awards for his work in those developments. I only recently got to know Mark quite well, visiting with him on the phone, on Facebook, and now this week, a most impressive gentleman and a pleasure.
Thank you, Lyle. First off, this could take a while, so thanks for your patience. And I forgot my little cheat sheet. Dan, could you?
Always there for you, bro.
Always there. Dan is quite a guy. I want to thank Dan and Reed and Walter for nominating me. They're great friends, and I wanted that ski tonight, but I knew I couldn't outbid the platoon, so not a surprise there. And Mike took the words out of my mouth. I'm here because of a lot of great people. I mean, a lot of great people, and I'm going to name a few, and you'll know some and you may not know some, but it's my way of feeling good about honoring them. But I'll start off thanking Smitty for all his great dedication to this great sport. It's a beautiful sport and great people, and thank you, Smitty. And the committee for voting me in, and I see Greg out there, and thank you. And back to Reed. Reed Zelke is not here, but he's quite an outstanding gentleman, and we're really lucky to have him in this sport. And Dan is second to none. He'll call me up, and we'll be doing something in the East, and he'll call me up and say, you need a few bucks? You need a few bucks? He's quite a guy. We're really lucky to have him. And a couple months ago, when I heard I may be in the hall, and I was really happy to see the names of Roger Dion and his father, Ernest. My dad would tell me when I was a kid, I remember they were legends in New Hampshire and in the East. And so I wanted to say a few words. My dad would tell me that they were just too good at 10 years old, and they would get hurt, and just being super aggressive, and Bernie, the cousin, he had some bad injuries, but I was so happy to see them, and I think I only met Roger once, and I don't remember meeting, I'm sorry, his brother. I forget his name already because I only met him a few days ago. Doug. There's so many of them, I'm confused. So this is ski jumping. We were out to dinner the other night, and I've known Doug for 2 hours and Roger for 3 hours. And at the end of dinner, they're handing me their addresses in Florida, telling me and my wife, we have a guest room for you. Please come visit us in Florida. And boy, they're just really great guys. And that's ski jumping for you. It's a great family. So I grew up in central Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts. It was not a ski jump area. And my mom and dad were really dedicated. And my dad would drive me up 4 times a week, an hour and a half through back roads up to Brattleboro to get 3 or 4 jumps in. There was 50 kids in the junior program at the time in the late 60s. And they were just incredibly dedicated, and they're gone on to heaven, but it's a great honor for them and for my family. I jumped for the great Brattleboro Outing Club. Alan Sargent is in the Hall of Fame, and he should be. He made sure kids had those every kid had a pair of skis. Remember the blue Splitkins? And we had the blue sweaters, and it was just a magical time. And so I want to mention Alan Sargent and Ernie Melanson. It was the Galantis family. I jumped with a couple of guys, Dave Austin and Dave Harris from Brattleboro, that were incredibly fun-loving, and they were incredibly kind to a little terribly insecure, shy, Chicken Lake kid. They were really, really good to me. And it's funny, you don't think of it at the time, but 20, 30, 40 years later, it hits you, wow, these guys were so kind to me. And it's really amazing. And some other names, Arne Havesland was a Norwegian implant from, he grew up in Norway and moved over to near Bear Mountain, New York, along with Sig Edmondson. Another great guy, and you're going to know and agree with me, always had a kind word, always was encouraging, was Don West. We miss him. Yeah, we miss him. And another guy who was really great to me, and I want to say his name, was the great Earl Murphy. One in a million. And also I was thinking, I saw Larry Stone recently at a wake in Salisbury of a friend of ours, George Kiefer, who passed at 94. And I remember I was about 12, and Larry was so encouraging and saying kind words, and so I want to mention Larry Stone. But thank you all so much, and it is a great big family, and it's a great honor, and thanks so much. And I'm really honored to be here with these USA skiers and these Olympians. It was great timing to be inducted with this great group. So thank you.
As Mark just said, this particular year, we really have the privilege of having our Olympians and the young athletes with us. Just a real pleasure to have you, each one, lady and gentlemen. I'm proud to know you. Give you a wave on the hill. Say hi. And glad you're here tonight. And of course, all of the rest of the folks that we see throughout the year, welcome for joining us tonight. We're going to have some fun. The dancing will start shortly.